Having done that, and having established that I do have my ISO file ready to put on there, our next step is to use a utility that comes with PC Linux OS. I'm clicking on PC, More Applications, Configuration, PC Linux OS Live USB Creator. You can see how this is organized logically. I'm using the PC Linux OS Live USB Creator, and I'm given some guidance here when it starts up that teaches me how to do things like manage, how to create a ext file system on a flash drive. We just did this. It warns me that we need to do what we have just done. If I need further instructions, those are available here, but I don't, so I'm clicking OK just to skip all that reading. And it alerts me that I must run this script as root. Asks me if I want to continue. Yes. It will then demand the root password once again. I'm entering that according to the usual pattern. And now it says, please ensure deciding on an install device. Please ensure that the device you intend to use is not plugged in. Otherwise, withdraw it now. Okay, it is plugged in, so I'm withdrawing it. Withdraw it now, and wait a few seconds before selecting yes below. So I have withdrawn it. I want to just make sure that it's not shown. I'm clicking on home just to make sure that it doesn't show that 8 gigabyte drive, and it does not. So it's been withdrawn. Now it says, you must ensure that you do not plug in or withdraw any device other than the one intended for the OS while this application is running. Are you ready to proceed with a live USB install? Selecting no will exit the application. Well, I'm going to select yes. What it's doing now is it's analyzing the disk drives in place. Next it says now plug in your USB flash stick. So I'm now plugging it in, and the utility will look for the difference to find this new flash drive. Plugging it in. Once again, Linux detects it. I can just ignore this box right now, and I'm going to say, it says please insert it and now and select yes below, so I'm selecting yes. Now the application is looking to see what's changed, and it will detect the new disk. It says this will take just a few seconds. It says now it thinks that I want to use device SDC1. That's correct. It's SDC partition 1. It says select a Linux ext partition for the install. You must select a Linux partition type 83. Highlight your selection and select OK. So you see this partition here and that 83? That means that we're in good shape. That's what we want to do. I'm clicking on OK, and it says you have chosen to install on device SDC partition 1 using the ext4 file system. That's correct. Now, it asks what do I want to do, and it gives me several options. I'm going to maximize this screen. It says, select the action you wish to perform. Do I want to create a new live operating system on a USB stick? And that is what I want to do. Alternatively, if I had already done that, I could add a second or subsequent operating system on the same USB stick, or we could abandon this with exit. I'm selecting the first of those three options. Create a new live operating system on a USB stick. This option deletes all existing files on the selected partition. In this case, that's what I want to do. So I'm now going to click OK. It says now, how do you want to proceed? I'm going to maximize this one too. Do I want to use an ISO file as the source of my install? Or do I want to use files from a live media such as a live CD? I want to use an ISO file as we had planned, so I'm leaving that option on and clicking on OK. Next, I'm going to maximize this one. Select an operating system name. I'm now going to choose a name by which this will be known in the boot up menu, because when I insert this disk, if I want to boot up from it, when I begin booting up, it will show a menu in the future that allowing me to choose the operating system I want to use, and I may someday put even 2 or even 3 different versions of Linux on this flash disk, so I'll need to give each a name. Here are some suggested names. It says I should click on one and then click on it a second time to edit it. So I'm just going to pick any one of these. E17 is their suggested name, but I'm not going to take that, so I'm clicking a second time, click, and now I can erase that, and I'm going to give it a descriptive name. The name is going to be PC Linux OS 1208, was it 21? That's the name I gave before, and I have notes about that. I find it necessary I have to click outside that, then back inside it again, so that it's highlighted in blue, and that then should be the name that will show up in future menus when I boot up from this flash drive, so I know what I'm getting. I'm going to click OK. Now, it says, selecting the ISO to be used. At the following prompt, please navigate to the ISO. Okay, it didn't wait for me, but I'm going to go into my file system, and it was at root. So we go down here to root, and there it is. This is that ISO file, PC Linux OS 120821.iso. I think that corresponds with the menu name I gave, and so I'm going to click OK. Now it says creating the operating system on the device. This is a visual indication that the script is working. It continues in the background during operation. Some operations, such as wiping and copying files to the partition, may take a very long time. The speed of completion depends on the size of the operating system to be installed, and also on the speed of the device in use. Okay, it says good luck. We're just going to wait while that finishes, and it shouldn't take too long. When it is done, it'll say OK, and we will have, at that point, a bootable flash drive containing this entire operating system with everything we've configured, all of its applications, etc. Just going to wait while this finishes. This can take a while. If you're doing a big operating system on a slow flash drive, this could take half an hour or so. Okay, maximizing this one. Now it says select the boot options you wish to include. When you boot up, you can boot up in any of several different ways, and I'm going to just stay with the default here, standard live boot option, not worrying about these other options, and I'm clicking OK. And next, I have to talk about grub. This is making that menu. I have various options. It says select the grub option you wish to perform. Please select the option you wish to perform from the list below. Select any of these three choices. Choice number 1 of 3, do not install grub, as I previously installed it on this boot partition or have made other booting arrangements. Well, that doesn't apply. Option 2 of 3, install grub to the boot sector of the partition device SDC1 so I can chain load it from my main grub install. That sounds like what I want. The third option would be install grub to the master boot. Oh, this is the one I want. Option 3, install grub to the master boot record of the USB drive, as this is either the first installation for this partition or a previous installation of grub has become corrupted. Okay, this is the one I want. This is the first installation on this partition, and that's what applies. Therefore, I'm going to click OK. It says creating the operating system on the device. I think in a moment, well, we've seen this screen before. Now, there's the final screen. It says, successfully completed. Congratulations, the live installation of the OS is complete. The partition is unmounted. Please safely remove the USB device now. Right, so I'm just pulling it out. It's now out in my hand. It says, you may then, after a few seconds, plug your device in again for use. Thank you for using PC Linux OS. All right. Back to my desktop. I'm holding in my hand this flash disk that should work, and in the next segment we'll show what it's like to boot from it. Thanks.